What's happening, everybody? I appreciate you checking in. All right, the season's here. Training camp in Costa Mesa is underway, and the rookies have reported first. The veterans are going to show up in about 4 days or so, but the rookies have reported. And I want to jump on here. I want to talk about some of the rookies. I want to talk about the rookies that I think that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. I want to see how they develop and how much of an impact they might play in this upcoming season, whether it's to fight for a starting position or to fight for a backup position. A lot of times with either these rookies, even some of these undrafted free agents, they're going to battle to one, either make the roster, but two, sometimes you see these rookies that were late rounders or even UDFAs in 2-3 years, they might find themselves as a starter. So that's what I want to focus on, because the rookies are in training camp and I want to talk about them a little bit. But before I get into it, if you can, please like this video, subscribe, turn on those notifications. My next giveaway is at 4,000 subscribers. But hit that notification bell, because I might surprise you with a giveaway before I hit 4,000. Again, it's just my way of saying thank you and showing my appreciation to all you, my subscribers, as well as everybody viewing. So just, again, my way of saying thank you. But as always, before we get into it, I came across this image on social media earlier today, and I had to come on here. This isn't necessarily Raider related, but let me know who wore the sickest face mask that you've ever seen. Just the baddest face mask. I mean, when I saw this, it almost made me want to strap up and put the shoulder pads back on and jump out there and try to give it one more try. I'm telling you, this would be, if I could wear any face mask moving forward, if I were to try to play one more time, this would be the face mask I'd rock. And so let me know in the comment section down below who wore the sickest face mask you've ever seen. And everybody in viewing in the comment section, you guys can go ahead and Google it and check out the face mask for yourself. But let us know in the comment section. And so let's get into the video, right? So I'm going to pick up some rookies that I'm excited to watch. I'm going to be watching them through training camp, through preseason. And I want to kind of see how they develop and what type of impact that might play. And I'm going to rank these guys from 1 to 5. I'll pick up number 5 on the screen, and we're going to go down to number 1. Again, I'm not saying that these are going to be the best rookies. I'm just going to say these are the ones I'm most excited about, that I think can make a big impact. And so just keep in mind, as I kind of go through this video, I'm not going to really focus on the early rookies, the Brock Bowers, the JPJs, Delmar Glazes, those guys that we picked up in the early rounds. Those guys are going to make the team. They're going to make the team, and they are going to fight for a starting position, because we picked up in the early rounds. I'm more focused on the late round guys, and I'm focused on the undrafted free agents. Those are the guys that I want to focus on, because I want to know who's going to battle. I want to know who is going to be able to establish themselves as a solid backup, or potentially battle for a starting position. But some of these late round guys, I think, can really fight for a spot on this 53-man roster. I'm excited to see it, because going back and watching their film, they showed flashes. They showed some attributes that you need as an NFL player, whether that be instincts, vision, ball skills, whatever it may be. They showed some flashes, and it's in the majority of the rookies that you're going to see on this video, it's in positions of need. And so I'm excited, and I can't wait to kind of get you guys' feedback. Let's kind of jump right into it. And the first one at number 5 is Dylan Labe. Dylan Labe, I think he has the potential to be just a dynamic player for us. And not only that, he has a chance to kind of battle Amir Abdullah for that third down pass catching back coming out of that backfield. Not only am I excited to see what Dylan Labe can do, but everybody, when we picked up Dylan Labe, Tom Telesco has his history of picking up a late round running back, right? You had the undrafted free agent, Austin Eckler. He came out, and that was a huge pick by Tom Telesco. Obviously, Austin Eckler developed into one of the best running backs in the NFL. And so everybody's kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but comparing Dylan Labe to kind of the next Austin Eckler, just because of Tom Telesco and his ties. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Dylan Labe can do. He's impressed a lot in the OTAs that we had a few weeks ago. So I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely looking forward to what Dylan Labe is going to bring to the table. At number 4, I'm looking at Andrew Coker. Andrew Coker was an undrafted free agent. He's a massive body. He's 6'7", 320 pounds. I think what happened, he was an undrafted free agent, but I think this was such a deep offensive tackle class that he got kind of buried a little bit. He also did transition his last year at TCU. I went back and I watched the film. He played 50% of his games at left guard, 50% at right guard. And so when you have to transition back and forth, you don't get a rhythm. You don't get kind of that comfort in one position. And so I think that kind of it didn't play into his favor when the scouts were evaluating him. And so I think he fell a little bit, obviously didn't get drafted. And so the Raiders snagged him up instantly as an undrafted free agent. I believe he's going to battle with Dalton Wagner, another undrafted free agent that we picked up last season. And I think he's going to battle. But what I've seen out of Andrew Coker, he's an aggressive lineman. He's great at the point of attack, and he's got a mean streak. And as I continue to watch his film, he seems like a really good, just all around lineman. He has a couple things that he does need to clean up, like getting to the second level and kind of remaining, keeping his balance, stuff like that. But those are things that can be corrected with good coaching. And so I'm extremely excited to see what Andrew Coker can do and potentially make this 53-man roster. And again, I think he's going to battle with Dalton Wagner for that, backup tackle role, that swing tackle role potentially. And so, again, Andrew Coker, I'm extremely excited about. Now let's get to number 3. Number 3 is Ladeitrick Griffin. I did a video, not only Andrew Coker, but Ladeitrick Griffin as well. I think that he has a chance to find himself a role on this team. One, because he's a speedster. As of right now, we have Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is going to be the starter. All right. He's the guy that's going to stretch the field. But if Trey Tucker goes down, we need somebody. We need somebody with speed to jump right in. And again, based on the film that I watched on Ladeitrick Griffin, I think that he has kind of all the intangibles, not only the speed to kind of stretch the defense, but I think he also has just those instincts as a receiver to kind of take him to the next level. He was an undrafted free agent. And one of the things some of the questions that I got on my previous video about him, some of the comments in the comment section was, well, no, what if I'm as high on him and he has so much potential, why wasn't he drafted? And if what I would say is I recommend, if you have that question, go back and look at the quarterback play at Mississippi State. And the Mississippi State quarterback struggled with accuracy. I mean, the amount of times I saw just balls that were 5 to 7 yards off on a simple curl route. I mean, throwing 5 to 7 yards to the left or the right, just underthrowing receivers, overthrowing. I mean, his accuracy struggled through the entire season. The amount of times that Ladeitrick Griffin was wide open and the receiver just didn't, or the quarterback just didn't hit him, was just happened way too often. And so I think that's what kind of dropped him a little bit. Plus, this was a very deep receiver class. And so, but not only can Ladeitrick Griffin stretch the field and can be that backup to Trey Tucker, I also think that he can help in the return game. With the new league rules around the special teams, I think we need to find ourselves a solidified returner that's going to help us in the kickoff return game and even the punt return game. And I think Ladeitrick Griffin can show, or has shown at Mississippi State, and the opportunities that he had, that he can also contribute on special teams in that role. And so not only do I think he can find himself a role as a receiver, again, if Trey Tucker goes down, we need to have somebody to stretch the field, and he can do that. We also need to find ourselves someone in the return game, and I think that he could possibly help us with that. So Ladeitrick Griffin, I'm excited to kind of watch him and just kind of see how he develops during preseason. And so number four is Amari Gaynor. Amari Gaynor, again, I did a video on him as well. He's just a freak athlete. He's a freak athlete at 6'3", 240 pounds. He's an undrafted free agent, but he originally played for Florida State and then transferred over to North Carolina. And when he moved over to North Carolina, he ended up being moved down to an edge rushing position. But when he was at Florida State, he was an inside backer. He played a stand-up inside backer. He kind of shifted inside to outside, but he was a stud. I think Florida State was excited to kind of have him back, but he ended up transferring to North Carolina. And he did well at Florida State as an inside linebacker. And when I made my video on him, when I dropped my video on him, one of the things that I highly recommended, and I was hoping the Raiders were going to do, was don't bring him on as an edge rusher. We have other edge rushers, right? But we have big question marks at the linebacker position. Obviously, we have Robert Spillane. He solidified himself. We did draft Tommy Eichenberg, but Divine Diablo, he's got to stay healthy. When he's healthy, he can produce. I have high hopes that he's going to produce. But if he can't stay healthy, then we have Luke Masterson. And I think Luke Masterson showed flashes last year, but by no means has he solidified himself as a reliable starter. I think Amari Gainer, and again, after I posted that video, it was about a couple weeks later, I saw that the Raiders had Amari Gainer on the roster, on the depth chart in the linebacker position, which I was excited to see, because if we allow Amari Gainer to kind of work in with the linebackers, I think if he can take what he showed at Florida State and transfer it to the NFL, he's going to battle. He is going to battle with these inside linebackers. You know, we also have Amari Burney there, which we picked him up, but I just don't think he's really like Luke Masterson. He hasn't really established himself. He could very well find himself down at the practice squad, or maybe even not make the 53-man roster. You know, he might just find himself cut. And so I think Amari Gainer, if he can build on what he showed at Florida State, I think he possibly can find himself on this 53-man roster. So I'm excited to see. And again, in addition to that, because he's a freak athlete, he can play a role on kickoff, kick return. We're going to need athletes. We're going to need big athletes on the kickoff game because of the new kickoff rules. And he can be one of those guys. I'm excited to see it. So I'm excited to see kind of how he develops through preseason. So that's number 4. And here's the number 1, guys. Here's the number 1 rookie that I'm excited to watch. It's M.D. Devonshire. M.D. Devonshire, you know, we picked him up late in the rounds. And you know, one of the things that I really am excited to watch is just how he battles for that second cornerback position, right? We don't know. Is it going to be Jacorian Bennett? Is it going to be Brandon Faison? There's going to be a battle. And I understand that we picked up the 4th rounder, Kamarian Richardson. You know, we picked him up and he's going to make the team and he's going to battle. But what I saw of M.D. Devonshire on his film, after we picked him up, I went and watched the film, is 1, he's a great athlete, but 2, he's got great instincts. And that's one thing that you really need as an extremely good corner in this league, is you need instincts. And he really showed that in Pittsburgh. And so I'm excited if he can bring those instincts to the NFL level. He is aggressive to the ball. I hope he can kind of tailor that aggressive,ness, pick and choose when he uses that, because I think that's what kind of hurt Jacorian Bennett last year. And you see that in young rookies. You see that in young rookie cornerbacks, is they almost feel like they need to be over-aggressive against some of these good receivers because they have to kind of showcase their skills. They got to show what they can do. And so sometimes they find themselves overly aggressive and then they get beat on top, or they jump a route and they get burned on a double move. I think if he can tailor some of that aggressiveness, I think just based on the film that I saw, he can show some good things. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can do on this team at the NFL level. And again, in addition to that, just like I stated about LaDetrick Griffin, I think MJ Devonshire can help in the return game. He returned a couple kickoffs, a couple punts at Pittsburgh and showed flashes. I mean, he showed that he has the ability to take one back if needed. And so, again, that's another spot where he can find himself potentially earning a spot on this roster if he can show added value in the return game. And so I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for what these rookies can bring to the table. And so at the end of the day, guys, this is kind of my list. These are the 5 rookies that I really want. I'm excited to kind of watch them through preseason, through training camp, and just kind of see how they develop and how they could contribute. So let me know in the comment section down below, which rookies are you excited, whether it be late round, UDFAs, which rookies are you excited to watch and pay attention to through training camp and through preseason? So I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Again, if you can, please like this video, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Next giveaway is at 4,000 subscribers. I might surprise you guys with one before I hit 4,000, so hit that notification bell. And I appreciate, again, sticking with me. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.